Hey guys, this is Sarah Elena. Welcome to the channel. I'm really happy you're here. And today I'm going to be talking about the most common questions and I'm going to answer them. This might be a little bit of a lengthy video and I'm going to answer them briefly. We're not going to get into all the nuts and bolts of every answer here because that would be like hours long. I probably have broken a lot of these topics already down in other videos, but this is just kind of like a quick breeze FAQ, like top questions. Let's just go through it. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to talk about all the topics. So hopefully you will learn something new in this video. And if this is your first video, I do help people move to Costa Rica. That's what I do. And it's been great. So we work with people one-on-one. We have retreats. We have another one coming up. So excited about that. Already have bookings on it. And what else we got? We got the retreats, one-on-one work, my do-it-yourself move to Costa Rica, do-it-yourself e-course. That still comes with like 12 weeks of group calls where we make sure all your questions get answered, and podcasts. So I came out with a new podcast lately. I'm really excited about it. I want you guys to check out everything in the link below, in the description below. And also, in the description below, there is a place where you can book a call with me. So please go ahead and book a call, but only if you are serious, if you're ready to take action. So you're either ready to take action in planning a scouting trip down here to check out the country, or you're ready to actually take actionable steps towards your move to Costa Rica. Otherwise, if you're just kind of, I don't know, maybe Costa Rica, maybe Mexico, maybe Belize, maybe I don't know, that's not the right time to book a call with me. Again, we want to be respectful of everyone's time. So the right time to book a call with me is whenever you've already gone through all that free stuff that's out there. I have tons of videos. There's other channels. There's lots of information online that can help you get to that point of like, hey, do I want to take action or not? Once you're there, then you give me a call. All right, now let's get into it. So some of our top questions about Costa Rica. All right, question number one. What is the cost of living in Costa Rica and how does it compare to my country, my current country? So you might be wondering, what is the, oh, there goes Crystal again. So you might be wondering, okay, what is the cost of living in Costa Rica? So that's such a broad question. So I'll break it down for you real quick. I have other webinars on budgeting and things like that. On the coast of Costa Rica, things are going to be more expensive, especially, near some of the hotspot towns, Tamarindo, Guanacaste, around these beach areas. So the cost of living is going to be higher on the beach because it gets more tourism. So things are more expensive. So the beach areas are going to be more expensive. Mountainous areas, more rural areas, it's going to be cheaper. So like, let's say the Central Valley in and outside of San Jose is going to have a better cost of living. Cartago, some of these mountainous areas are going to have, better cost of living. But what is the cost of living? Again, that really just depends on you, your lifestyle, what kind of home you want, what is your typical daily habits, what do you buy for food on a weekly basis. A lot of that's just going to really depend. So there is no real just one cost of living in Costa Rica. It's going to depend on a lot of factors, and it is going to require a lot of research for you to do to look at your own personal lifestyle. Okay, next question, residency and visas. So what types of residencies are allowed, do we have, and what kind of visas? So we'll do visas first. Again, very abridged version. Tourist visa allows you to be in the country for up to 180 days. This is for a lot of countries that enter Costa Rica, but there are some. Like if you're coming from outside of North America, definitely check to see what your maximum allotted time is to visit Costa Rica. And we have digital nomad visa. Again, this is a visa category only. You can get this for up to 2 years. You get it for the first year, then you have to renew it. You have to show an income of at least $3,000 per month for the last 12 months. If you're one individual, if you're a family, if you're married, like if you have dependents, then you have to show $4,000 for the last 12 months. And this is going to be shown via bank statements. So via bank statements. And to renew, you have to show, again, the 12 months prior that you have those same numbers. This is all in US dollars, by the way. Now, residency categories. Again, we're going to shoot off the most popular. One, pension. Have to have a minimum pension of at least $1,000 US. This could be, it just has to be lifelong. It doesn't have to be Social Security. If it is, cool. But, we work with people who have military pensions or different kinds of pensions, maybe from their companies that are lifelong. Just as long as it's of $1,000 US per month, you can get the pension residency category. Next one is rentista. You have to show a guaranteed income of $2,500 per month. Again, that can't be from a job. It could be from like an annuity or investments or like dividends. So or a 401k, let's say your 401k is paying out, that's one that can qualify you too. You're going to get temporary residency on these first categories before you go over to permanent. Next one is investor. So you invest at least $150,000 US into Costa Rica. So for that, it can be through property purchase, buying a business, starting a business, building a home, buying a car, all that lumped together. So it has to be at least $150,000. Another one is marriage to a Costa Rican citizen. So, getting married, get your citizenship. You can get your residency that way. And the last one is first degree family member. So that's how I got my residency. My daughter was born here in Costa Rica, which means she is Costa Rican, which means I got residency due to being a first degree family member to her. And for that, siblings can get that. So I actually already did a whole video breaking down visas and residencies. Go check for that in the link below and on this channel. I caught it covered. Then we'll deep dive there. All right, so next question. Healthcare. How's the healthcare system in Costa Rica? Is it reliable? Is it affordable? I would say overall, yes, the healthcare is affordable, but if there's a major emergency situation or if you get diagnosed with something really scary, yes, things can get really expensive. So you do want to have some kind of insurance in case of accident or emergency. Or, if you are worried about some scary diagnosis one day, then you want to make sure to have coverage for that too. So, but overall, I would say very, very affordable. Even to pay a lot of things out of pocket is very affordable. Going to the dentist, we don't even have dental insurance. People come down for medical tourism. They actually come down to get procedures done because it's cheaper for them to do it out of pocket here in Costa Rica than it is for them to do it in their home country with their insurance. So, if that tells you something, but still have something in case of accident or emergency. Yeah, my tea is in my little Russia mug. Okay, next topic. Safety. Is Costa Rica a safe place to live? What are the crime rates and safety concerns? I personally do think Costa Rica is safe. I've never had any safety issues that have happened to me personally, thank goodness. I do know that things can happen. There's a lot of petty theft can happen, home invasions, home robberies can happen. I know usually, people they're going to try to do this when you're not home. So, I mean, I guess imagine anything that could happen where you are now can also happen here. So, you want to use the exact same diligence of being aware of your surroundings as you are anywhere in the world here too. So don't just put on your rose-colored glasses and think that nothing never happens, because it can happen, unfortunately. But of course, the type of crime could depend on the area that you're in too. But for me personally, I'll just speak from my personal experience. It's not something that keeps me up at night, worried about anything in particular. I guess the one thing, I had my car broken into, but nothing was taken because I didn't have valuables in it. So don't leave valuables in your car. All right, real estate and housing. So what are the real estate and rental options like? There is real estate and rentals in all different shapes and sizes. One of my favorite things in Costa Rica here is to look at homes. You can find options below 100 grand, under $100,000. You can find them above. You can find giant luxury mansions, or you can find your cute little quaint jungle cabin in the forest, or you can find your beach bungalow, right on the beach. I mean, the real estate here comes in all shapes and sizes. Of course, the price is going to depend. Again, if you're near the coast or near touristy areas, you can expect that the real estate and rental market, they're going to be more expensive than if you're in kind of the not as high demand areas, maybe in the mountainous or in the Central Valley or other areas of Costa Rica that maybe aren't popular tourist attraction areas. All right, language. So do you need to speak Spanish in order to live in Costa Rica? Is English widely spoken? It will greatly enhance your experience the more you learn Spanish. So the more you learn Spanish, the better. You will have a much better experience here in the country. However, a lot of people do get by. I also just did a video about how to navigate language barriers, and I had some tips. So that'll be linked below as well, the tips to navigate those language barriers. And yeah, those are my tips on that. The more you can learn, the better. The more you learn, the better your experience. But there also are people out there who just don't have a knack for learning languages, and that's okay too. So that video will give you some good tips. There are a lot of people here in Costa Rica who speak English, especially on the coastline, where there's more tourism, where English might be more common language. And then there's other areas where you're going to find that English is not widely spoken. So it'll be a little bit of everything. In your touristy areas, you'll definitely have more access to that. All right, next question, education. So let's see. What are the educational options for children? Are there good international and bilingual schools? So the majority of the kids, so we move a lot of families here, majority of kids in these families are going to private school. So like my daughter does too. And these private schools don't have to be like $40,000 per year, anything crazy. Like my daughter's private school is about $400 a month. So we'll see private schools $300, $400, sometimes $1,200. That would be definitely a more expensive one. But 800, 500, 600, 700, it'll depend. So there are great schools here in the country if you're going to go private. Public schools, kind of a hard transition for kids coming out of the country, especially if your kids don't speak Spanish. That's going to be all in Spanish, so they're going to be really confused. They could go to public school, but it may not be the best fit if they don't speak Spanish. It's going to be a very hard adjustment. So most people do go with private bilingual schools. We have kind of more of your structured ones, or we have more of your like holistic, Waldorf, Montessori ones. I mean, there's a whole, again, schools come in all shapes and sizes here as well. Okay, so employment and business. So what job opportunities are available for people who move here, or what about like starting a business? So number one, I want you to understand, you cannot move here and legally work. You cannot move here, and I see this online, and it's okay. I'm not here to yell at you. If I'm the first to educate you on this, great. If not, maybe you already know this. You cannot legally work in Costa Rica until you are a permanent resident. So that was going to take years to obtain. So don't think that you're just going to move here, find a job. You know, I get that question. Oh, well, what kind of jobs can I get in Costa Rica? I'm like, none. Not to be mean or anything, but yeah, I was that person. I was like, I'll just go and find a job. Like, but yeah, so no. So don't think that you're just going to move to Costa Rica and find a job. Best I could say would be you should be working online, or you can come and start a business, or you can buy an existing business. So I also have videos about what's legal and what's not legal in terms of working here in the country. So definitely check that out below too if you're confused. But I do want you to know that you can't just come and get a job in Costa Rica unless you're so specialized that a company is going to sponsor you, and they have to show that they could not get another Costa Rican to take that job. So just, it's not very going to be very common that people are just going to willy-nilly be able to come here and get a job. Culture and lifestyle. So what's the culture like in Costa Rica? What are some customs? Well, Costa Rica has its own kind of phrase, that Purda Vida. You know, the culture is very laid back, pure life, everything's good. I do have a lot of other videos on kind of culture and adjusting, and you know, there can be the tico time, like just, you know, everything happens slower, the systems are different. Same with just dealing with people, the social systems are different. So, you know, here yelling at someone's not going to get you accomplished in what you want to do. This Costa Ricans, they don't tolerate that stuff. They are very, but they will be very kind and very helpful if you have a really good attitude with them, I found. So that's like really what the culture is. I've seen it just over these years be very much like, you know, you do you. As long as you're not hurting anyone or yourself, then cool, you do your thing. And so that's what I like about it here as well. Everyone's here, I would say, is pretty non-judgmental. No one cares what you have. No one cares what brand you're wearing. Like, they really don't. They don't care what brand of shoe you're wearing. They don't care if you have some fancy watch. They really don't. So that's actually a nice thing. Like, people here, they don't care what you have. That's not a form of status. I feel like Costa Ricans genuinely care like how you treat other people and how you're going to treat and interact with them, and that's what value they find, not from what you have. So I think that's something, you know, to learn from, because I know other countries are a little bit different nowadays. So what is the climate like in Costa Rica? Here's another question. Climate in Costa Rica, I like to say there's a climate for everyone. If you like the 50s, 60s, you can be in the 50s and 60s. The higher elevation you go, the cooler it gets. If you like the 60s, 70s, you can go be in the 60s, 70s in the mountains. If you like the high 70s, low 80s, up to low 90s, you can be by the coast. I mean, the climates, there's over 50 different microclimates here in the country. There's so many climates here. So yeah, there's a climate for everyone. Just mountains, elevation, that'll get you cooler. Coast, that'll get you hot and sticky. And then just think south is jungle, rainforest. Central is more, what do they call it? Like a mixed transitionary forest. And then north, dry forest. So dry forest. So there's a transition in what type of forest is here too, which I think is really cool. It kind of goes from like rainforest to dry forest, all within a country that's the size of West Virginia, which is pretty amazing. All right, so transportation. So how reliable is public transportation? Should you bring your car? Transportation, it depends where you live, you know, probably like where you are now. If you're in a really rural area, the bus may not come by as often. But I would say in and around the city, the bus system, local transportation is very good. Uber's very good. Uber's not going to be all over the country. Other parts of the country, yes, there's going to be a bus that goes by. You know, there's a lot of Costa Ricans who don't have cars, so they do rely on public transportation. So I would say the transportation is pretty well. You definitely want to show up early. Like, the bus could show up 15 minutes early, or you could be 30 minutes late. So, you know, relying on the public transportation system can get a little bit frustrating sometimes. Now, should you bring your car? Well, that's a whole nother topic. Typically, I'm going to say no. But depending on what kind of car it is, and if you're going to take advantage of the not having import taxes because you're filing residency, then maybe it could make sense to bring your car. But what I do, so if people are not sure if they want to bring their car or not, I recommend figuring out, okay, how much would it be for you to import the exact car that you have that you want to bring, and how much would it be for you to replace that exact car here? And then that usually helps us make some decisions. Taxes, taxes, taxes. Okay, so taxes. You are not going to be taxed in Costa Rica unless you are legally employed or unless you own a business. Isn't that great? So if you come here, you're working online, or you have your own business abroad in your home country and that functions, and you're living here, you're not going to be getting taxed here in the country on that income. You're going to be taxed here in Costa Rica if you're legally employed in Costa Rica or if you own a business. So cool, right? Yeah, not too much else to say about taxes. I would also look into your home country to see if there's any tax benefits of you now being a resident of Costa Rica or living outside of your home country. There might actually be some tax benefits for you not being in your home country. So definitely look into that and see how hopefully that could positively affect your taxes. Okay, internet connectivity and phone. So how good is the service? How good is it for remote work? We have tons of digital nomads and remote workers who do move to Costa Rica. So you can get really good internet, 200 megabyte services wired in. Or you can get the homeowner that says, yes, we have great internet, but it's a chip and a router. And every time it rains or cloud goes by, the internet cuts off because they just use it on their cell phone to scroll Facebook. So they don't understand what a remote worker needs. So for that, we always have like home rentals. I would do a speed test, check into what actual service provider it is, and don't just go off of, yes, it's great internet. Like ask for a speed test, but there can be really great internet here in the country. But of course, remember, if you go real rural, maybe your options aren't going to be that great. Or bring your Starlink with you. I just got Starlink. It's great. So bring your Starlink. Well, it's also cheaper here too. I think I pay $40 per month for my Starlink. Better than I heard in North America, it's like 120. So Starlink for the win. All right, we got two more. I know we've been powering through these, but this is the most commonly asked questions, and we're powering through them. And hopefully, this is helping you and you're learning something. Cost of moving. So what are some of the costs that can be associated with moving? So these are some of your upfront costs that I want you to think about. Number one, your plane tickets, the cost of all of your extra baggage. If you're bringing a pet, the cost of the vet health certificate of bringing that pet, plus checking that, like how you're going to transport that pet here to the country. Your rental deposit, if you're going to be long-term renting, your deposit, your security deposit, and your first month rent. That's going to be another expense. I feel like those are some of your bigger ones. And then, of course, you ordering and buying extra items that you want to bring with you for your move, replacing items after you first get here, that you didn't bring with you. So but I would say the bigger ones are obviously going to be the plane tickets. If you have kids, you're going to be putting them in school. So the enrollment fee plus the school, the supplies, maybe a uniform, the books, that would be another additional fee. So those fees can definitely add up. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for what those costs are going to be, and you know ahead of time what they're going to be. Last one, community and social life. So how easy is it to make friends and integrate in the community? Are there expat communities? So I do work with a lot of people that are like, I don't want to live in a community surrounded by gringo people and expats, and that's fine, and that's great. Or some people say, yeah, I do kind of want to be surrounded, or I want to be right in one, or I want to have the option that if I want to go speak to people in English that might be near where I'm from, then I want to be able to go there too. And there's nothing wrong with that. So a lot of times you can definitely find a lot of other people who've moved, let's say from foreign countries, around the beach areas, as I've noted. Those are more popular. Central Valley still, like Atenas, Grecia, there's a lot of those towns. So there definitely are a lot of towns, yes, in Costa Rica that you can find more people, but you're still going to find a lot of Costa Ricans. So even I did a video on gated communities, and the one that I live in, it's 90% Costa Ricans who own here. And I'm near the beach. So there are still a lot of Costa Ricans around Costa Rica. Unless you're in like very certain, very, very, very touristy spots, you will find plenty of Costa Ricans, which is good. And the last one, the last part of this, I would say if you are wondering how you're I would say people here are really friendly. They actually have time to go do stuff, which is nice. Like my friends, we have time to hang out and do things for each other, which I love. It's great. So like getting involved in hobbies, taking classes, going to the beach, going for sunset, or going to local hangout spots. Just like don't be afraid to strike up a conversation with people. Even with local Costa Ricans, when they learn that, oh, you live there year round, they might, that, oh, okay, this person lives here year round. And then you're going to start seeing some of the same faces all the time. So that's a good way to meet people. Just kind of get in your routine. Don't be afraid to talk to people. Um, go again, go places where it's going to be easier for you to meet people, and just don't be afraid to reach out and actually, meet people. Okay, well, I would say that is the most commonly asked questions here for Costa Rica. I did kind of a spitfire version, like I said, or else this video would be hours and hours long. Are you going to be on good behavior? If I let you down, are you going to be on good behavior? I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so those are the questions. Those are the things. So if you guys need any more information, assistance on moving, if you have questions for me, look through all the information in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope that this information was helpful, and if you need help moving, you know where to find me. All right, see ya.